Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our preview show for week 4 of stage 3 of the Overwatch League 2019 season. Let's just jump right into it. The big thing that's been talked about pretty endlessly this week has been another rumor coming out, this time from Hiska, about the 222 lock coming in stage 4. So this is now 2 rumors that we've had.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good, beyond like Slasher and the esports reporting thing, he's pretty much involved like hardcore into all of the Overwatch and Overwatch League stuff. He does a lot of stuff at Winston Lab, and he's on Tactical Crouch, and he was basically reporting about, some insider information about 222 lock coming to Overwatch League in stage 4. We kind of touched on it a little bit. I'm not a fan of it coming in on stage 4. I kind of wanted it on stage 2 just because you're switching the advantages really late in the season to some certain teams.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be kind of weird, but
But I get it at the same time. I think one of the biggest things is really they wanted to do it at the same time as it went live, and that's what it seems, because he did go on Tactical Crouch and was talking a little bit more in depth about it, and basically said that it was definitely floated around for stage 2, but they had to delay it because the feature wasn't ready to be implemented in the actual game. Because, it's something they can absolutely do in the league, but they don't want to do it when it's not part of the game yet. And I think that's the biggest point. Because, they could lock that up right then and there. They can just go into a custom game and set it. Yeah.
But there's also balance stuff, too.
Right.
There's characters that, you want to see in the league, and when you're playing them, that could kind of be viable. Like Brigitte, if you put a 222 lockdown, Brigitte's done. Diva's done right now.
And that's I think part of it too, is it's not just as simple as here's the lock, that's it. There's going to be a massive patch with a lot of adjustments coming.
Yeah. Because there's certain things that you can run, and at my ELO, you run a 222 lock, you're going to have Mercy hooked up to a Bastion behind an Orisa shield with a Torbjorn. Right. It's psycho bunker comp. It's cheese all around, I would say mid gold down to fucking bronze.
But the biggest thing with that is, yes, that happens, but that's already happening. And honestly, I really don't feel like the 222 lock is gonna change all that much in the game itself.
It's gonna get rid of goats.
Yeah. But
the problem is it's gonna get rid of some of the fun stuff you get, like the Chengdu comps.
Right.
Where you have the ball with, you have a Pharah Mercy, and you have a couple other DPS running around, which is more fun to play, but they just want it to be, this is what they wanted it to be kind of from the start, I think.
Right. And it's definitely something that's always been encouraged throughout the history of the game.
They started out and, there was no hero lock, or there was no, whatever you want to call it. You could run as many...
Yeah, as many different characters.
5 fucking Bastions and a healer. You know what I mean?
You run, what was it? I think it was 3 Tracers and 2 monkeys Lucios? and a Lucio or something.
Yeah.
Was just unbeatable.
Yeah. No one thought anyone would beat Dive. And no one thought anyone would beat Goats.
Right.
And here we are, Somber Goats.
Yeah. And then also, I fully expect there to be a hero announcement soon, and we'll most likely...
We're about due.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, we were the leaders in telling you about Sombra is the best way to kill goats, but all of you plebs can catch up.
Yep.
To me, the bronze player, and you're in plat. But catch up. Catch up to the fact that fucking Sombra has the best ult in the game, can annihilate every fucking whatever you're doing.
Well, I mean, it really has been like, but it's like, that's the thing, is it's weird because like they're still running goats. They've just kind of found a way to squeeze Sombra in there.
Yeah.
It is making for a little bit more fun, for sure. Like this last weekend was probably some of the most like exciting matches we've had in a long time.
I mean, there were a lot of different comps, and a lot of people are thinking outside of the box, which thank God.
Yeah.
I hate going into like these things where it's like, guys, you finally are using your brain. You know what I mean? It's like, for some reason, Overwatch. I mean, I'm kind of new to esports, so and you might have been watching more than I have, Kel, but like other stuff. But it's like being a conventional sports person, and you're watching this, and you're going, my God, you're actually thinking this is the only way to do something. Right.
I mean, that's always kind of been the case. I've not really, honestly, this is probably this is really my first like deep foray into esports, but it's the same type of thought pattern for me. Like, why does it have to be just this one way? Like, I get it to an extent, and I get that those are definitely things that happen when it's just like the competitive scene and all those things. Like the meta kind of gets
have a certain amount of time to do this and that or whatever, but
because it's the same type of thing you run into in Dota and League of Legends and all of that, where it's just like, these are basically the characters that you want to run, and this is why. And there's like, but even then, those games have 2 or 3 different comps that are pretty viable.
Right, like even when we were playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm, like you're involved in these characters, and then all of a sudden, the meta has always been like, all right, you got to have a new Barak, and like on this map, and it just got like into this whole hard set meta, and no one wanted to think outside of the box.
Exactly.
Like it's that this worked, so it's the only way.
Exactly. You mentioned people using their brains. Let's talk about the team that finally decided to put in the real big brain, and that's the Valiant. Yes. They've been on a tear, and I mean, we talked about them a lot on Sunday. But I mean, once again, they're playing another team that we've talked a lot about, and that's Hangzhou. First match of the week, Hangzhou versus the Valiant.
Yep, feature match.
This is going to be awesome.
Oh God, yeah, this is gonna be great. And one of the things we did not talk too much about, because I missed the match. I had to watch it like on the replay viewer, and oh my God, it was so cool watching it on that, because you can just like spin around and watch all of the different angles, and just watch the match and tear it apart. But Shax on Sombra, which the Valiant went out on a limb, and they put space on the bench. Yeah, I mean, you're putting like one of the best off tanks, if not, we're talking top 3, top 5 on the bench, and you put Shax in to run Sombra, and it worked really well. The thing that the Valiant are doing is they were like straight goats. Like, we're running goats. They got better and better, and then they were like, you know what? Let's do the Sombra thing, because we got all these new guys in. Fact Fiction, and lest we forget, Fact Fiction and Shax played together. And then putting one of the biggest things, and he's one of our players that we're going to be watching in this match, is Kareev back on just Flex support.
Seeing if he can continue his torrid streak. Like, this dude, he is beyond on fire. Like, he is
fucking sleep darting sombras
in Hellflame and sleep powder, basically.
I mean, hitting sombras with sleep darts is stupid.
Oh my god!
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Hitting a Genji is tough, but like I would rank Sombra as probably one of the hardest, other than
Genji.
Maybe a Tracer. I would say Tracer is like the hardest, but I would put Sombra right there as one of the hardest.
Because they got the recall / transponder thing or whatever the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm. I've probably slept more Sombras than any of the three. But yeah, it's still really difficult in getting them, because even then,
killed like 2 or 3 ults.
Even if you do sleep one, it's not necessarily a guaranteed kill.
Yeah.
Because if she can hit her E fast enough, she can get away. Unless you have another person. Like, if it's just you, it's going to be tough, because as soon as she E's away, then it takes away your damage over time shots.
Yeah, and he
because her cleanse is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, and he's just been. I mean, that's where we were talking about that in the beginning of the year when they had Izayaki. We talked about it on Sunday too. Mm-hmm. He likes being in the flex support position.
Yeah, it's just where he has the greatest impact on the game.
But when you like playing a certain position, you do better. I mean, exactly. It's just the way it is. I mean, he's good at DPS, but he likes playing Ana and Zen. So
right, like, I mean, I feel the same way. Like, if I had that experience today, I was forced to play off tank, and I can do it okay, but it's just not what I'm comfortable with, and it's not what I practice with.
Right.
And like, it was very noticeable. And I was just like, I was so uncomfortable playing that. And then I finally, on the next match, I ended up having some of the same people. And I almost got forced into it again. And I'm just like, please don't make me do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do this.
I just want to play Ana or Zen.
See, I like playing off tank. And like last night we were playing together, and we did like the Orisa Hog thing, and we pretty much carried, except for, like, you know, we lost, but, you know, we almost got all the way to the end of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And I like playing the flex tank. I just like their kits, and I like doing what they do. I gotta get better with the hog hook.
Yeah, but that was my biggest issue. I was getting 0 value out of his hook. Everything else I was doing okay, but his hook, I was just not landing anything.
I'm the moron that doesn't reload before I hook.
I had that happen a few times too. Yeah. Like, the few hooks that I did get, I had to reload, and I was just like, God damn it. Yeah. But let's go back to Hangzhou LA. So we talked Kariv and Shax, but for Hangzhou, we're gonna be watching Adora, because this guy is
killer
come
Brigida.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, his Brigida is like sick.
It really is.
And, you know, everybody talks about, you know, Hawksall and guys like that, and Rascal, but Adora is like secretly one of the best fucking Brigidas in the league.
Yeah.
I was watching their match against Dallas. Okay, it was Dallas, and they're in like a weird spot, and we talked about that a lot, and everybody has, actually. He's up there with Haxall as one of the best Brigidas in the league, in my opinion. Just watching some of the stuff he was doing, his ult timing is fantastic, and the whip shots and all that kind of shit, like the stuff that you don't watch with Brigida. Well, nobody watches Brigida, first of all, but like like the stuns and all of the CC that Brigitte has. He has been like the master of it, and he was just like absolutely destroying Dallas, and it was really sick. I'm just wondering what he's going to do to the Valiant next, because they're in that Gladiators.
Honestly, Valiant have proven to be like these two teams have skyrocketed up to top 5 teams. Honestly,
yeah.
I would put them at probably 4 and 5 behind, or right in there with the Gladiators.
Gladiators, yeah. Doing that Gladiators
and then
range.
like our top 3.
Yeah. Minus the. So,
before we move on to the next game we got to watch, there is some breaking news. Soul on Twitter has put out a post saying Fissure has left the team.
Get the fuck out. No, seriously, this is like what?
Here's their tweet.
Sorry.
We are sad to announce that Fissure will be retiring from the Overwatch League effective immediately. We respect his decision and have mutually agreed to terminate his contract. Fissure has been a devoted member of the team, and we wish him great success in the future.
Indeed.
I had a feeling that this was going to happen after some of the tweets that he was putting out there and talking about having breaks and not getting playing time. I think that's really it, is he just wasn't getting playing time. I'm not the man. Exactly.
Holy crap. That was like instant. All right, guys. That was breaking news like right on the show.
Yeah, this just happened within the past like half hour.
And from Soul's standpoint, they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, he didn't do anything for them. The first stage, they looked crappy with him.
Yeah, they didn't look great.
You know, he's retiring. Okay, I have a feeling he'll be back.
Yeah.
Next year.
Probably. I'll be shocked if he doesn't try to come back, and like it'll be with a team where they will like build. Basically, the best bet
build
is
around him.
Yeah, like honestly, Washington is the team that I would think.
Same thing.
Like they could absolutely gut that roster and not have any issues, and then build around him and make him like their undisputed leader. And that's about the only thing that I could see happening, because at this point that'll be his last shot, because if it doesn't work out and he flakes on another team, he's done. No team is going to even pick him up, because he's just not worth the headache, because you just never know what you're going to get.
Well, Washington is the perfect team, actually, if you think about it.
It really is.
It's pretty much all Korean. Wizard's there. He'll throw him in. You're our main tank. You know, as much as they love Jonas, you're going to get Fissure. You'll have Fissure, Arc, Sleepy, and just build around that.
Yep.
But I'm thinking that's next year, not this year.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not playing at all again the rest of this season.
Well, and I can also see it from his standpoint too, where, you know, I'm on the B squad or whatever the fuck it is, and he's got a big ego.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe he needs some time off.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Figure out what the
meta is.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a good GOATS player.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll still be surprised, but it wouldn't shock me completely if they do institute the 2-2-2 and it turns out to be like a dive meta. I could see some team trying to pick him up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's going to be too late, because I don't think they can pick anybody up after stage 3 is over.
Right. So he might take it off, and then with the 2-2-2 lock in next year,
yeah,
you know, join like a team like Washington.
Yeah.
Like you were saying. And he would fit in perfectly. You know, you have a good support line, you have Fissure, you just fill in the rest.
Yep. Pretty much. So yeah, that's breaking news. So let's move back to.
I feel like we need that like fucking like ABC News, like whatever the hell whatever the hell it is.
Right.
You need
So
Ted
perfect.
Koppel coming in. Fissure has retired from the Overwatch League.
This news coming in from the Overwatch League. Fissure of the Soul Dynasty has officially retired from the league.
Yeah. This is Kent Brockman.
This is Kent Brockman. All right, so let's dive into the next match that we wanted to talk about, and that's going to be the Gladiators versus Vancouver. And this one gets interesting because Vancouver just lost to the Valiant, and it kind of seems they're looking a little shaky. Even the games that they've won, they've literally won because of just pure skill and just crazy plays that no one else can touch because they're so in sync with each other, and they're all so gifted. But the Valiant took it to them, and the biggest thing that this team seems to be struggling with is having a good Sombra player.
Yeah, or playing out of the 3-3 meta.
Yeah, and just switching away from the traditional 3-3, because with Sombra coming in so much more predominantly, like, it's going to be a struggle for them because their best lineup is their GOATS lineup. And who are you going to put on Sombra? Are you going to take out Seomin Su, or are you going to take out Janu? Like, those are two of your best players overall. Like, what do you do in that situation?
In my opinion, I would take out Janu, leave Seomin Su on the Zarya, and put Stitch in on Sombra.
Yeah,
because Diva is becoming less and less viable, and
it's only going to get worse when disregarding any other rumors or any other changes, we are getting those Diva nerfs in the next stage for sure.
Yeah. I mean, these guys will be able to work around it to an extent, but
she's far less powerful.
Yeah.
And honestly, it works kind of in their favor because then they get to play more Ana, which they've done very well because Twilight is just a god.
Well, all of these flex supports, everybody that like just thinks these flex supports can play fucking Zenyatta. They're out of their mind, because once you watch them play Ana, it's like, oh shit.
Right.
They can kind of change a game with Zenyatta, but they really change a game when these guys play Ana.
Yeah. It's unreal.
Especially like the guys like Twilight and Jonak and like Kareev. They're just insane. But the one thing with Vancouver is when they get out of the 3-3 meta, I just want to see what the fuck happens, because they're getting like thrown by Sombra, and then they try to mirror, and I kind of think that they haven't prepared for this yet. It was we're gonna run GOAT until it doesn't have its impact,
right?
And putting Janu on Zarya is a bad idea. I would keep Seomin Su on Zarya and sub out Janu, and it's what all the other teams are doing now.
I kind of agree with that, as much as it sucks for them having to do that. Like, because Janu is just such a huge part of this team and what they do. I think they have to just kind of bite the bullet and do that, because unless Janu is a really good, a lot of teams have. But I mean that's the thing is, I would put Janu up there as like a top 3 diva in the league. And that's a really tough decision to bench a player of his caliber. But then at the same point is, if he can show that he can play Sombra at even half that level, I think that they could justify keeping him in there. But it's going to be a tough choice. But I don't think he can. That's the problem. And I think
he can't play Zarya at the level that Seomin Su plays.
Exactly.
So, and it's much like, the Valiant benching Space. You know what? we don't need Diva, we need Sombra, and you can't play as good as this guy. It's just the way it happens. Everyone's like kind of freaking out about this, but you look at the beginning of the season, all the big ass DPS, carries are on the bench. Mm-hmm. Sabioni came back because he picked up Sombra. But, you have guys like Pine. You have guys like Birdring that was like in and out of the lineup.
Right, like who'd have ever thought that New York would bench Mako?
Yeah. But exactly. And if you look at like teams like Florida, okay, so they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Then all of a sudden they just discovered playing DPS and they put Psy player back in on a DPS player and, back to what he's
most comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's the same type of situation same type of situation that Kareev was in.
Yeah. Put him where he's comfortable.
Yep. Exactly.
And
so with Vancouver, I feel like they're just still trying to figure things out. And I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're going to figure it out. I think they're going to they'll probably have a few more bumps in the road. And that's honestly the best case situation for the Gladiators right now. Yeah. And this is a game that this team desperately needs. They need to beat a top tier opponent if they want to be considered, or if they want to be feared, and if they want to be considered a top tier team, they have to win a game like this.
Because there are teams that are creeping up on them, and and one of them was one of the teams that beat them this week, which was the Dragons, and they did not look great in that match. From my perspective, they just need to actually play a match against a opponent that is considered above them and beat them, and possibly beat the shit out of them. Just like own them.
But even if they don't do that, just clutching out a win would take this team so much further, and they need it so bad, more than any other team I've ever seen.
And they have players that can do that. It's just like they don't, like in the biggest possible moment, they fail. It's weird. Like they have one of the best support lines in the whole league. But there are times, like in big matches, where they just don't show up at the right point. They have guys like Surefour, they have guys like Hydration that are really good. They just fail to show up when the lights are on them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just need to do it. And this is their shot. And I
really is.
Think
it's really their best chance.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think they have a good shot.
But what they got to do is play, it's like what we always say about Houston, play to your strength. Play to what you're good at. You're decent at goats. You're not their level. Dictate the meta to them. Don't let them tell you, okay, we're going to play goats. Fuck you. You know what? Do what you're good at. You guys are good at running different comps. Put Hydration on Pharah. Run a Pharah Mercy. Ball that whole comp against them. They're not good at that. Chengdu took them to 5 maps, early in the season. That should have just been an indicator. You can beat Vancouver by making them uncomfortable. It's like any other sport. If you make the team uncomfortable, they're not going to perform.
Exactly.
Yeah, I always go back to like Denver playing Carolina. What made Cam Newton uncomfortable? Blitzing the absolute fuck out of him.
Yep.
And
exactly.
Yeah, Von Miller and the other guys on that team. You make them uncomfortable. Because it creates panic. And the Valiant did that.
Yeah, they did it, and they executed very well, and I think...
Well, that was the thing, too. They had to execute, and they did it insanely good.
Yeah, they really did. All right, so let's hope that the Gladiators can do that. Let's move on to our last match of the week. that we're going to be keeping an eye on, and that's going to be London versus San Francisco. And London kind of runs into that same issue that Vancouver is in. Do you want to take Fury out? And their way around that is they're substituting out. They're not actually subbing anybody out other than Quartermain, but we'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's kind of solidified his spot on the roster. As far as what London is running, they're keeping Fury in on the Diva, but they're moving Prophet to playing Sombra and not
kind
running.
Kind of switching him in and out, whatever they're going to do.
Right. He is their everyman, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Prophet, like can you play this?
Okay.
Give me about 10 minutes, I'll figure it out.
Right, and they've taken him off of Zarya, so they're running a gesture generally on Winston. Then they're still running Fury on Diva. And then they've got Quartermain on Lucio or Mercy at times, and then obviously Birdring is still playing Zen and Anna and a little bit of
Badosin.
Or Badosin is, yeah. My bad. Badosin.
Right.
And then Birdring is playing kind of the other catch-all.
Yeah. But
still in Brigida jail at times, but
he kind of has picked his Brigida up to like top 10 level, where he was like at the beginning of the season, like he couldn't figure out how to hit fucking E.
Right.
Like he was like me on fucking Brigida. Like, okay, I'm just gonna swing and run around and maybe something will happen.
Basically, but yeah, he's really stepped up his game. But they're also running some, like they've ran the Chengdu cheese comp. They ran.
It's not cheese.
It's not cheese, but they did run the Chengdu comp of the with the Ball and Farah.
Far Mercy. And
Far Mercy, and they've actually had Fury been playing Mercy, which is not Mercy, Farah, which is really interesting. And it seemed to work out on Paris.
Well, the thing is Fury is a really good player, and you know it goes back to with Prophet. Yeah, he's a great Farah.
Mm-hmm.
But what else can we put him on that's gonna fucking destroy the other team?
Right.
He's that good, and I know a lot of people are saying, you know, Sinatra. I'm a fanboy, and I'm sorry. I will vote 600 times. I will create 500 emails and vote for fucking Prophet be MVP. Because if you look at it, like at the beginning of the season, what was it, like stage 2?
He is literally the only reason they is still in contention right now.
Yeah. What was it, stage 2? I said guaranteed by the end of the year he'll be the best Zarya. He's getting close.
Yes. Now that we're switching away, I don't think he'll ever reach that. But
yeah, then they got to deal with him playing
himself
Tracer.
Up into top 5.
If they go 2-2,
I can't. Yeah, you go 2-2-2. He probably go back on a Tracer, but then also even right now, his Sombra is terrifying because he's already. It's similar to what Sabiobi is doing for New York.
Wow, someone figured out you put the Tracer on a fucking Sombra, which is kind of the same kind of play style.
Mm-hmm.
But Tracers murder people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the other people playing Sombra, they're all careful and they're going around. But Sabiobi and like Prophet are like, no, I got a fucking a gun. I'm gonna fucking blast your face off, and then teleport out.
Right.
And then EMP, and then everybody else can do their thing.
Yeah, it's been pretty outstanding for them. So it'll be interesting to see which kind of comps they run. But the other big thing with London has been the emergence of Quartermain and basically him taking Nuss's spot, because with the way he's been playing, I don't think they can even justify putting Nuss back out there again.
No, and Nuss is really good too, but Quartermain is just playing out of his mind, and maybe he's just better in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from what I watched, I mean, the Washington game was weird. He's just been really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to see what happens, because, I mean, Nuss is good, but, you know, it's kind of the changing of the guard thing, I think, going on right now, and I think he just has more to offer.
Yeah,
I think he's a little bit more flexible than Nuss. Because Nuss last year, I mean, he was a really good Mercy. He's an okay Lucio in my mind. But I think Quartermain is really good at both as far as on their team. I'm not saying he's like on like a Stitch level fucking Lucio or like a Arc level Mercy, but you know, when you get into main supports, a little bit better than Nuss right now.
Yeah, for sure. And he's just his synergy seems to have been there, which is the one thing you worry about with that, but it's been seamless, and it only seems like he has helped elevate their game more than anything. Which
could be shot calling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, Badosin is just really good anyway. He's one of my favorite players because he's just solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like all around.
Absolutely. But, well, the other question in this game is we've got San Francisco coming in, and the last couple of weeks they've been on a tear after their loss to the Outlaws. The thing is like,
where are they going?
Now that they've kind of, are they going to be able to continue that? Especially against a team like London, who seems to be kind of really figuring themselves out right now, and are playing a Sombra comp. Is that going to mess with San Francisco, and are they going to be able to adapt to that and continue their dominance?
I think they can adapt. The problem is that the best Sombra player that they have is Sinatra, which takes away your Zarya if you're going to run Sombra goats.
Yeah.
But if you decide to run if you want to go like just into, not the cheese, but like, you're like, okay, so we can run Sombra. We can have Sinatra on Sombra, but we can run a comp where we have Rascal playing like a Baptiste, and, you know, like kind of a sort of a bunker comp with Sombra. I think that works because, well, we all know what happens to Super when he plays against Sombra.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest problems that they have right now, I think.
Yeah.
But I think they can adapt because they have other players too on the bench that if it gets into a DPS weird thing, they can pull them off. They might be a little rusty, but like you have Striker.
I mean, they still have, you got Striker, who's one of the best. Like, I can't imagine that he wouldn't be able to translate his ability on Tracer into
a Sombra,
playing an incredible Sombra.
Yeah. I mean, next stage it could be all totally different, but that was one of the things I kept saying that. I'm like, all these teams are like, as soon as I saw Sabioe doing that, I'm like, oh yeah, Tracer. Kind of similar to Sombra. Right. But, you know, I mean, you have to really work together as a team, but most of those teams are pretty good together. But Striker could possibly be like a key ingredient to that. But who are you going to take out?
Right.
Chehyobin, I would assume.
Yeah. I would think so, but that's another risk that they have to run. And
right. And
like,
teams have
and then it's just like, do they even up to this point, they haven't needed to make those adjustments because no one has made
them
Sombra. Yeah, no one has made them do that because Florida certainly wasn't able to, and Boston wasn't able to either.
The team that did was Houston, and they were running Dante and Sombra, and it was tilting them.
Right, and I think that London has a better shot of kind of getting to that level with them than any other team has.
And also, they can kind of run goats, not necessarily on San Francisco's level,
right?
But what you got to do to teams like, and we saw it with the Valiant, and we saw it with Houston.
Yeah,
they forced them to play their game.
Yeah,
and
I think London is capable of doing that. Yeah. Honestly, I think one of the things is if you can force Super off of Reinhardt,
Yeah.
I think that opens up everything because
his Winston is not great.
Yeah, his Winston's not great.
Good.
But it's not the same level as his Rhine.
Right.
And can he adapt? And that's a really big question for this team. And I think it'll be interesting to see if they can answer that.
And can he adapt into playing Winston or playing Orisa or Ball? Where in those situations where you're getting forced into something where they're like, London can force you into playing DPS.
Right.
With the players that they have. Or they can, they can kind of go at you with goats. It's not as good as San Francisco's, but they could dictate the match by who they pick and what they play. And throwing Sombra in there and forcing San Francisco out of their, 3-3, standard goats comfort zone has happened in the last couple of weeks. Granted, in Florida, kind of fucked them up with that, whatever the hell that 5 TPS, 1 healer quick play thing was.
Right.
They
were able to adjust to it, but it definitely threw them for a loop at first.
And I'm looking to see what London does with them, and I'm kind of excited about this match because like I said, like I always say, I'm a Prophet fanboy. I want to see what the hell he does.
Right.
All right, guys. So that's going to do it for the preview for this week. Don't forget to hit us on YouTube. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. All of you guys listen to us on podcasts and all that stuff, whatever your podcatcher is, iTunes, SoundCloud, and all that kind of stuff. Thanks a lot. Please hit a rating. It would be greatly appreciated. Just so a note on programming, we are going to not have the Sunday back camp this week. I unfortunately have to work things and be at work until late at night doing inventory. But we will come back with some kind of recap, whether it's Monday night. We'll figure something out. We'll hit you up on any of our social media stuff. All the stuff is down below. Hit the links. Follow us. And we will, keep you up to date to what's going on with our programming. And everybody have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the matches, and we will talk to you later.
Catch you guys in the next one. Later.